The NFL is in full swing, and with a season when there is no preseason, there are bound to be a lot of injuries. Not surprisingly, we saw a lot of players get hurt in week 1, and because of some players getting hurt, some younger players will get chances that they either may not have had as early, or simply wouldn't have had in general. In today's video, we're going to discuss some rookies that will break out by season's end, and set themselves up for very bright futures. But before we get started, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now let's begin. And the first player we will discuss is Raiders rookie Henry Ruggs. Ruggs was the first receiver selected in the 2020 draft and is a playmaker in every sense. In his NFL debut against the Panthers, he had 66 total yards in a game where the Raiders put up 34 total points. Now, they play the Saints on Monday night in week 2, and even if Ruggs doesn't play in this game, he will break out by season's end. Las Vegas didn't draft him that high to be just another guy, and he is electric when he has the ball in his hands. Now, Josh Jacobs did have 25 carries in week 1, and that simply will not happen every week, as no running back has had 400 carries, which is what Jacobs is currently on pace for in a year in quite some time. The last two leaders of rushing attempts were Zeke in 2018 and Derrick Henry in 2019, and they barely hit 300, let alone 400. So what that means is Ruggs will get his fair share of looks, and more than likely some carries out of the backfield as well. He had 2 carries in week 1 and had 11 yards in those carries. I am personally very excited for the duo of him and Josh Jacobs in this offense, as there will be games where each of them have over 100 total yards, and in general will be very fun to watch. The Raiders also have Darren Waller at tight end, so they very quietly have great playmakers on their offense. Anyways, for the sake of this video, Henry Ruggs will receive his share of targets and become a great NFL player by season's end. There's no reason to think he can't have over 1,000 total yards and 6 to 8 touchdowns in year number 1. And the next player is Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen. I think we were all a little surprised Queen fell as far as he did on draft night, and he proved in week 1 why he should have been selected higher. He was all over the field on Sunday as he recorded his first sack and his first fumble as well. The Ravens will be a very good team all year long and be seriously competing for the AFC by season's end. It seems now that it will be a 2-team race between them and Kansas City, and Patrick Queen will play a big role in that. He looked like a seasoned veteran in his NFL debut rather than a player in his first career game. They will certainly need Queen to step up as the season goes on if they plan on competing and stopping the Kansas City Chiefs. Not only them, but if they do run across a team like the Tennessee Titans again. Anyways, Queen was a steal for general manager Eric DeCosta at the end of the first round, and he looks to be there for years to come. Third round rookie Malik Harrison also looked good in his debut, and this could be a very scary middle part of the Baltimore defense for the next half decade. The Defensive Rookie of the Year award will be tough for Queen to snag due to a player like Chase Young, but crazier things have happened. Queen will be a breakout player by season's end. And before we keep going, I do want to say Chase Young will be a player that will break out by the end of the year. I thought he was too obvious of one to have a whole segment about him, so I do want to get that out of the way before anyone questions why I have other players, but not arguably the best rookie in the entire 2020 draft class. Anyways, on to the next player, which is Colts running back Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is, at least in my eyes, almost guaranteed to break out for a few reasons. As I alluded to at the beginning of the video, there are going to be a lot of injuries in 2020 with no preseason. We saw that in week 1 across the NFL, and with Marlon Mack already done for the year, this opens Jonathan's opportunities that much more. Now, he only averaged 2.2 yards per carry, and if that continues, that will for sure be a cause of concern. But as of now, I don't think it is, as the Colts still managed to feed him the ball, as he had 6 catches for 67 yards out of the backfield and finished week 1 as the NFL's rookie leading receiver. He had nearly as many catches in his NFL debut as he had in his freshman and sophomore campaigns at Wisconsin, so that definitely surprised everyone when he was targeted that much. With an offensive line like the Colts have, and a player that's as talented as Taylor is, there's no reason he can't succeed. Unless he is a flat-out draft bust, Jonathan will for sure be a consistent 1,000-yard back over the course of his career. Marlon Mack has said in interviews before that he follows 56, obviously referring to Quentin Nelson, and that when he follows him, he is almost always right. Taylor averaged nearly 7 yards per carry in college and finished his 2018 and 2019 campaigns with over 2,000 yards rushing. There's absolutely absolutely no reason he can't be a productive NFL player, and the possibility of the Colts drafting a young quarterback soon will only help his career rushing numbers. They wouldn't force a quarterback into throwing the ball 45 to 50 times right out of the gate, and because of that, Taylor would be the direct beneficiary and put up some gaudy numbers in the process. He will be a breakout player in 2020. And the next player is Jerry Jeudy of the Broncos. Jeudy opened his career with a 4-catch, 56-yard performance, and while that may not seem like a lot, it really isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things, as it would translate to a 64-catch, nearly 900-yard year. Anyways, for no preseason and in a position that generally takes longer to develop than others like running back for example, this was a solid debut for Jeudy. The long-term outlook for the Broncos offense is very bright, with players like Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Courtland Sutton, and Jeudy, of course, all being under the age of 25. Jerry's route running was one of his biggest strengths in the draft process, and although he had a few drops in Monday night, those, in my opinion at least, aren't a cause of concern for the future. Getting open at the NFL level is what matters most, as if there's no place for the quarterback to throw the football, then honestly it doesn't matter how good your hands are. Jeudy will benefit when Courtland gets back due to the defenses having to account for both of them and the pressure simply being taken away from Jerry. A successful rookie campaign for Jeudy would look something like 70 catches, 900 yards, and 6 touchdowns, and that's very achievable in this offense. While he isn't as electric or flashy as his former Alabama teammate Henry Ruggs, he will be a great player in his own rights at the NFL level. In a division where corners aren't the best, and in a division where Jeudy would be getting the number 2 corners anyway, he will have long-term success and it's almost guaranteed. Lock to Jeudy is something I hope we see for the next 5 to 10 years, and I hope we see a competitive rivalry between the Broncos and the Chiefs. For the sake of this video though, Jerry Jeudy will be a great NFL player. And the final rookie, though not limited to just the ones in this video to be 100% clear, is Cowboys corner Trevon Diggs. Diggs and the Cowboys made their debut on Sunday Night Football, and for a rookie corner, Trevon looked good in week 1. Without a preseason, there's only so much practicing these guys can do before they get real live reps and real game reps. Corner is probably the position that takes the longest to develop into a great NFL player, and for Diggs to look solid in his debut was huge and gives Cowboys fans something to cheer about. Trevon will also have a luxury that a lot of NFL players don't have, and that's having a very successful older brother mentoring him along the way. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind Stefon has been helping Trevon out along the way, and from a mentorship standpoint where Trevon can ask his older brother about how his feet need to be in X situation and how he needs to move his body in Y situation is absolutely huge from a learning standpoint. There is a big difference between Division I receivers and NFL receivers, and that's why we see rookie corners more often than not get beat time and time again, and especially early on in their careers. Now, to be clear, Trevon still has to play good and do the work, so let me get this straight that his success and future success won't be strictly because of his older brother helping him out. Diggs will be a great corner for the Cowboys for the next few years and will prove to be well worth his second round selection. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Please know if there is a rookie I missed or just didn't cover, it's not because I don't like them or think they won't be good. There will be plenty of rookies that will be great by the end of the year that weren't covered in today's video, and if you notice anything different for today's video, it was because it was in the new program like I mentioned a couple weeks ago. The video quality will only be up from here, and if you're still watching, you guys know I truly appreciate the support more than you know. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps a ton, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.